Life was tough for the young man. Every day he sat on the cold floor of the railway station. People rushed by, their faces full of purpose. He would stretch out his hand, hoping for a few coins. Hunger gnawed at his stomach. Despair filled his heart. He felt invisible, forgotten. Was this his destiny? Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. The routine never changed. He knew every crack in the platform, every sound of the arriving trains. The clanging bells, the hissing steam, the hurried footsteps, they were the soundtrack of his life. But deep down, a tiny spark of hope flickered. He yearned for a different life, a life of dignity and purpose. One day, a well-dressed man stopped in front of him. The young man, who had been sitting on the cold pavement, looked up, his eyes filled with a mixture of curiosity and caution. He didn't throw a coin or offer pity. Instead, he stood there, observing the young man with a thoughtful expression. Instead, he looked at the young man with kindness. It was a look that conveyed understanding and empathy, something the young man hadn't seen in a long time. "Why don't you try selling something?" the man asked gently, his voice soft yet filled with conviction. The young man was taken aback. No one had ever suggested such a thing to him before. "Sell? What can I sell?" he mumbled, his voice heavy with despair. His mind raced, trying to grasp the concept. The man smiled. "Flowers. Sell flowers. People love flowers. They bring joy." His words were simple, yet they carried a weight of possibility. The words struck a chord within him. He had never thought about selling flowers before. Sell flowers? The idea seemed absurd, yet intriguing. It was a glimmer of hope in his otherwise bleak existence. Could he really do that? Doubt clouded his mind, but the seed of an idea had been planted. The man, sensing his hesitation, added, "Believe in yourself. You can do it." His words were like a gentle push, encouraging him to take a step forward. Those simple words, "believe in yourself," ignited a flicker of hope within the young man's heart. It was a feeling he had almost forgotten. For the first time in a long time, he dared to dream. The possibility of a better future seemed within reach, all because of a chance encounter and a few kind words. The next morning, he woke up with a new resolve. The sun's rays filtered through the window, casting a warm glow in his small room. He stretched, feeling a sense of purpose he hadn't felt in a long time. He went to the flower market, a place bustling with activity even in the early hours. Vendors were setting up their stalls, arranging flowers in vibrant displays. The vibrant colors and sweet scents filled him with a strange sense of excitement. He wandered through the market, taking in the beauty of the flowers, each one more captivating than the last. He used the few coins he had to buy a small bunch of roses. It wasn't much, but it was a start. He carefully selected the freshest, most beautiful roses he could afford. Standing at the station, he felt a wave of fear wash over him. The bustling crowd and the noise were overwhelming, and he hesitated, clutching the roses tightly. But then he remembered the man's words, "Believe in yourself." He took a deep breath, closed his eyes for a moment, and nodded to himself. He could do this. He started approaching people, offering roses with a shy smile. His heart pounded with each step, but he pushed through the fear. To his surprise, people responded. Some smiled warmly, accepting the roses with gratitude. Their kindness gave him the courage to continue. Some smiled back and bought a rose. Each sale felt like a small victory, boosting his confidence bit by bit. Others shook their heads, but their refusal wasn't as harsh as before. They were polite, and some even offered encouraging words. At the end of the day, he had sold all his roses. His heart swelled with pride as he counted the money he had earned. He had even earned enough to buy more flowers for the next day. With renewed determination, he prepared for another day, ready to turn his small venture into a blooming business. Section 4. Dignity in Labor, Respect in Return. The young man continued to sell flowers at the railway station. He learned about different types of flowers, their meanings, and how to arrange them attractively. He took pride in his work. He was no longer a beggar, pleading for scraps. He was a flower seller, bringing beauty and joy to people's lives. With each passing day, his confidence grew. He held his head high. He looked people in the eye. He no longer felt invisible. He had found his purpose, his dignity. The respect he received in return was worth more than any coin he had ever begged for. Section 5. Blossoming Beyond Expectations. Word spread about the flower man of the railway station. He was a figure of intrigue and inspiration, a beacon of hope for many who had lost their way. His story, a testament to the power of self-belief, resonated with people. His business flourished, attracting customers from all walks of life who were drawn to his resilience and positivity. He rented a small shop near the station, a humble beginning that would soon blossom into something extraordinary. He employed other struggling individuals, sharing his good fortune and empowering them to change their lives. His shop became a sanctuary for those seeking a second chance. The once despondent beggar had blossomed into a successful businessman. His journey was a remarkable transformation, a true rags-to-riches story. His transformation was not just about his financial status, but about his spirit. He had found a new purpose and a renewed sense of self-worth. He had learned that true wealth lay not in what you received, but in what you gave. His generosity and kindness became the foundation of his legacy. And he gave the most precious gift of all, belief in oneself, the power to change, and the beauty of a life lived with dignity and purpose. His story continues to inspire, reminding us all that with determination and kindness, we can blossom beyond expectations.